Hey, it's the right weekend, and just in case I'm having some technical issues, I hope you guys could just still see my screen at least. I'm freezing. Um, but as you can tell from this video, what I want to talk about is how the left, the Democrats, however way you want to describe them, leftists. I don't describe them as liberals because um, that's I think you got old school liberals, um people like I've had on my show, um like Dov Hikind, that um you're socially liberal and maybe you're fiscally conservative. There's certain issues that put you on the conservative spectrum. um but when it comes to lefties, um, and some liberals, they will pull out the race card. They'll pull out racism, they'll pull out sexism, they'll pull out homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia, all this nonsense when logic fails them. When they can't use logic, then they use emotional appeal. Okay. That's their bread and butter. Okay. And here's a good example of that when it comes to with Twitter and Elon and all this going on.
In fact, on Twitter, it is predominantly straight white men. So when Elon Musk says, wow, this is about free speech, it seems to me that it's about free speech of straight white men. And so let them have it. Let them just go at it. I enjoy the block button on Twitter. I think it has a real outsized influence in our world because politicians and celebrities are.
And that's what they do. You can see there, straight white male. That's their go-to is, the other way they'll say it is, cis white male. That's the other way they'll say it, instead of white, straight white male. Um, they don't use, some of those people will not use the word cis white male, just because the fact that they know if you use the term cis, that nobody's going to pay attention to you. They're really going to know your intention with that, with using that phrase. Here's another video from this was shared. This was episode
breaking news just in the last couple of minutes from the tech world with Elon Musk, the world's richest guy, agreeing to buy Twitter. This estimated $44 billion deal that'll make the social media megaphone a private company.
Remember, this is a very controversial, polarizing owner of Twitter. A lot of the individuals and critics that we've been speaking to in recent weeks say they're really concerned about safety and violence and threats, especially against women and people of color on Twitter. Several people I've spoken to today already saying no, they don't trust safety and the goodness of Twitter if Elon Musk is the owner.
So yes, so like I said, that's their go-to. That's how they do this. Okay. When they can't get you with the facts, they'll get you with the emotions. So they'll say, oh, this whole Elon Musk buying Twitter is gonna cause hurt and damage to people of color, to women, to the LGBT community, and it's like, come on, okay, there. All that's going on now is the fact that the truth is coming out. You've seen, I showed you a video yesterday where a guy was talking about how he could change, he could stop one candidate's stuff from showing, and decrease the reach of one and increase the reach of another. And I wouldn't be surprised if what's going on right now in Twitter is that there's like a shred fest. They're going to change the code, they're going to change the algorithms, because once Elon Musk takes over, they don't want to see they want to erase all the stuff that they were doing the past few years. And this is but what's going on is they use the race card. They'll use the ethnicity card as a shield so they could say, "Oh, well, we're not trying to suppress or moderate free speech. No, 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 no. We're just trying to protect it. We're protecting free speech from, hate speech." And it's like, look, listen, as much as I hate what you people are saying, you have every right in the world to say it. I may disagree with you, but I will defend your right to say it, even if I don't like you. And that's why I make the distinction between lefties and liberals. If you believe the term I just said, that that I may not agree with what you have to say, but I'll defend your right to say it, then you're an old school liberal. But if if you're someone that says, no, no, we have to stop hate speech, hate speech needs to be censored and all that stuff, then guess what? You're a leftist. You are a leftist. You're not a liberal. But that's what's going on here. They use people, like they use Latinos, they use blacks, they use women, you name it. They use us as pawns. They don't care about us. Okay. The left, they claim to care about us, but they don't. Because try to see, when a person of color, a black, a Latino, when we turn against Democrats, or you see what real racism looks like. And I wanted to show a little bit of this old video just so you can see what I'm talking about. Um, you can see that they don't even realize how some of their thoughts are just racist, because the fact that it's the was it the low the bigotry of low the high the bigotry of low expectations, the low. Anyway, there you go. Hold on.
Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad. I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works. A lot of people have smartphones, but they might not have data. For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not.
I just want you to see that. I mean, this is, granted, this is already 6 years old, but the fact that this is what people were thinking 6 years ago, when you hear this stuff, it's disgusting. This is what they think of people of color. This is what they think of us. They think little of us. They think that we can't figure out how to get an ID to vote. Like my mom, in the last 2 years, she got rid of her driver's license because she doesn't drive. So she got a state issued ID. Why? Because she needs to go to the damn bank, because she needs to do things normal people need to do that you need an ID for. But these people, when you disagree with them, they'll play this race card. They'll play the emotional, we're just trying to protect people of color. That's why what are they doing right now? They're bringing out Hillary Clinton. They're bringing out Barack Obama, talking about disinformation. Oh, well, now that Elon Musk is going to take over Twitter, there's going to be a bigger more disinformation out there. And Disinformation is all subjective. Okay, it's all subjective. The Hunter Biden laptop story in 2020, the Democrats said it was Russian disinformation, and 50 ex intelligence people agree that it's Russian disinformation, even though they never saw the laptop. But you could share the story that 50 ex intelligence officials say that the story is Russian disinformation, but you couldn't share the New York Post story. Okay. Remember that. Okay. There's, you read that stuff and you go, really? The the China lab leak, the Wuhan lab leak theory. You couldn't talk about it. You couldn't talk about it on YouTube. You couldn't talk about it on Twitter. And that, when people were first talking about that. And now it's pretty much accepted that most likely it probably leaked from the lab. We're not saying it leaked on purpose. We're not saying that anything nefarious necessary. There are some people who will go that far, but I will just say, um, people for the most part agree it probably leaked from a lab. It was very hard for this to just pop out of nature. There's a lot of things that, this vaccine stuff that you can't put up, you couldn't put out on Twitter because, um, or even YouTube. I think even now you still can't say stuff on YouTube about like the vaccine. That's why I'm just being general about it, because I do post my videos on YouTube. Um, but that's what's going on. Everything to them that goes against their agenda is disinformation. So like, Obama and Hillary are pushing for the EU, for the digital, uh, for some law on the social media in the European Union, and it's like, no, you're pushing it there because and this is the irony. The reason why they're pushing it over there is because they can't pass it over here. That's what they're doing. And, so they bring their big guns to do it because that cannot pass here. So they hope that the European Union passes it and American companies will follow suit and just listen to it because they don't want to have to deal with the European Union. Okay. But you know what some companies do here in the US? Uh, they put stuff on the internet, but not with the American um, um, domain name. So instead of using .com, .us, they'll use like a different dot, like .me, .eu, any of these other I forget the term for it. But anyways, they'll use that stuff and then they'll go from there. And uh that's why Hillary and Barack Obama are doing this, because the fact that it's an end around of them knowing that they can't pass those type of laws here in the US. So of course they're going to push for it in Europe. And they use the race card. They use the sexism card. They use the sex card. They use anything in the book instead of, okay, we're just going to argue about this on the merits and the facts. They'll just bring emotions. And that's how they get blacks and Latinos to fall in line. And I, for one, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of following their line. I left that Democrat plantation a long time ago. Um, and like I say, um, I don't believe the Republican Party is necessarily the solution. Um, I'm more libertarian myself. It'd be nice to have like something like ranked choice voting. So like that, I could vote libertarian and then go, okay, if my libertarian candidate doesn't win, then hey, then I'll put the Republican candidate in. But until we have those type of choices, then I'm stuck choosing the lesser of two evils. And I will go with the do nothing Republican Party as opposed to the screw shit up Democrat Party. Because look what We haven't even had 2 years of this fuck up, and we are a hot mess. We're a hot mess with gas prices going up, food prices going up, food short. Biden said there's going to be food shortages. So, look, listen. Be aware when the left are using the race card, the ethnicity card, the sex card. When they're using all of that, is to distract you from something else. And right now, they're using this Twitter distraction to keep us at divided. And then in the next hand, they're going. Barack Obama's there in Europe talking about passing laws that he knows damn well would never pass here in the U.S. But they could pass it over there in Europe, like I said, an end around of U.S. law. Now, let me know what you guys think. All right, Rican, you can follow me on YouTube and Rumble. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram. So you can check out my website, therightrican.com. It has all my ways to interact with me on there. And, happy hump day. So it's Wednesday. Forgot about that. Have a good one, everyone.